students, hope you're all fine and fit. Today, let us revise our third lesson in English grammar, sorry, in English literature. That's about Oliver learns a new game. This is our third lesson. This particular lesson is taken from the story called Oliver Twist, written by Charles Dickens. This Charles Dickens has written a big story called Oliver Twist. This is a portion from it, from that particular story. There are four characters, main characters in this story. They are Oliver, who is a main character. Then Artful Dodger. He is a person who finds Oliver and brings to London. And Fagin is a Artful Dodger is a pickpocket, and Fagin is an older man who is a head of these two pickpocketers. Okay, Charlie Bates is also another pickpocket. So these are the four main characters in this. So Oliver, who is the main character, then Artful Dodger, who is a pickpocket and who brought Oliver to London, and Fagin is a head of the pickpocketers, an old man, and Charlie Bates. Charlie Bates is another pickpocketer. Before going into the story, there is some background of the story. So this is something about the background of the story. So Oliver was somebody who had no parents. So till the age of 9 years, he was brought up in an orphanage. Okay. And then after 9 years, when he was staying in the orphanage, he was shifted to a workhouse. Workhouse is a place where children are made to work, to do some works in the factory or some places, and then in return they received some food to eat, and that food was not even sufficient for them. So once when Oliver asked for more food, he was thrown out from the workhouse and he was sent to an undertaker. Undertaker is a person who conducts the burial ceremonies. After death, people are buried. He looks after that ceremony. He arranges for that ceremony. Okay. The name of the undertaker was Soberberry. Okay. So he was staying in the Soberberry's house, and then once he had a fight with Soberberry's son. He was trying to abuse Oliver's mother, so then they had a fight, and Soberberry's wife supported her son, and then Oliver was beaten up, and then the same night he decided to run away to London. So he runs away to London, and on the way he meets Dodger, who is a pickpocket, Artful Dodger, and he tells him that he will take him to a place where he will be given enough food to eat and a shelter. So when he heard that he will get enough food to eat, then he followed Dodger. He had no idea as to where he was going to, but he still followed Dodger, and he went to London. And once he reached London, he was in a Fagin's house. Okay. So he was sleeping after the heavy walk to the London. After reaching London, he was very tired. So he was sleeping in Fagin's house. So the house was not that clean as such. It was an old house. Things were not in order. So he was sleeping, he was very tired, and he slept. And in the morning, when there was nobody in the room, then the old man Fagin gets in and makes sure that Oliver is sleeping, and he takes out a box from some hidden areas. So he takes out and he opens the door, opens a box, and he has a lot of valuable things in the box. So Oliver was not fully asleep. He kept his eyes open and he saw all the precious things. And then Fagin was very anxious and very furious and angry, very so that Oliver was looking at him and he saw those precious things. And then Fagin was very angry, and then he shouted at Oliver, asking, "Did you see it?" And then in quiet voice he said, "Yes, I saw it. Were you awake all through?" I said, "No, I was not awake all through. I just got up and I saw something." So he just closed that. Immediately when he saw that Oliver was watching him, he closed the box and he kept it on the table itself. So then he asked Oliver to go and bring some water. So as Oliver went to bring the water, as he came back, the box disappeared. The box was not there. And then Oliver was asked to wash hand and come for breakfast. And then as he was on the breakfast table, he meets another two friends of him, another two pickpocketers. Charlie Bates, Dodger was already there. Charlie Bates, he meets another one, Charlie Bates. And they had gone early in the morning, they had gone to pickpocket, steal things from people. So they had gone to steal things, and then he asked, "Did you find enough things?" They said, "Yes, we could find enough things." And the old man was very happy, and they were having breakfast. And after breakfast, they had a game. Those three were having a game. The game was that the old man kept some precious things in his pocket, and he was walking in the room. As he was walking, the Dodger and Bates both were supposed to take out things from his pocket without his knowledge, without the old man's knowledge. So they were practicing that. So they were trying to take out things from his pocket. So then, if the old man came to know, then the game was stopped. Okay, stop. I came to know that you are taking things from my pocket. So then they started it again and again and again. They were practicing it. So Oliver was told it is a kind of game. So he was enjoying that game. So he was not involved in that game because he was a new pickpocketer. He was new to the profession. So he was not included in the game. So after that, they get some friends of the Dodger and Bates come and they go out for a picnic. They go out for a day out. They went out to enjoy themselves. So Oliver and Fagin were all alone at home, and then Oliver was asked to take a kerchief out of Fagin's pocket without his knowledge, and Oliver does it. Oliver quietly takes a kerchief out of Fagin's pocket without his knowledge, and Fagin was impressed by Oliver's talent, and then he decided to teach him more about pickpocketing. So then he says, come, Commander, come, I'll teach you something. So Oliver was so far unaware of the fact that he was going to be taught to pickpocket. So he was thinking, he knew of Fagin for an old man, and he thought that he is going to teach him something good. He didn't know that he was going to be taught to pickpocket. So then Oliver followed Fagin without knowing what he was going to be taught. So that the story is about. So this is about a time when students or children were exploited and they were led to wrong things by people for their selfish gains. So today, you know what is right and wrong. Taking somebody's thing is wrong, or stealing something without somebody's permission, taking something without the owner's permission is wrong. We all know that. So still a time was there when people exploited children. They made wrong use of them, and so even today people can exploit us. So we have to be careful. We should know what is right and wrong. People can brainwash us. They tell us, "Oh, this is right, that is right." No, we should not listen to them. We should decide by ourselves what is wrong and what is right. If an act of ours is harmful for somebody, that means it is wrong. If that harms somebody, it is wrong. So read the lesson once again and understand all the vocabularies, learn them, and learn all the question answers.